Cole Branner stood in his kitchen doorway, watching his wife arrange organic vegetables on the marble counter. The morning light caught the phone camera as Elise adjusted it for the perfect angle. "Good morning, beautiful souls." Elise's voice shifted into that practiced tone he'd grown to hate. "Today we're making Arla's super green smoothie. This little powerhouse is packed with healing energy." Cole's jaw tightened. Arla sat at the breakfast table, picking at her gluten-free toast. Dark circles ringed his 4-year-old daughter's eyes. She'd lost weight over the past month, her small frame appearing even more fragile. "Mommy, my tummy hurts," Arla whispered. Elise didn't break character. "Growing bodies sometimes resist healing, darlings. That's just the toxins leaving her system." Cole stepped forward. "She needs her medication, Elise." "The camera is rolling, Cole." Elise's smile never wavered, but her eyes turned cold. "We've talked about this. Turn it off. I have 12,000 viewers waiting for this content." Cole walked over and blocked the camera. "I said turn it off." Elise's face flushed red. She jabbed the stop button. "You just cost me a sponsored post. $500. Our daughter is sick. She's detoxing. Dr. Martinez doesn't understand alternative healing." Cole pulled out his phone and showed her the medical report. "Arla has a severe autoimmune allergy to legumes, soy, and leafy greens. Her white blood cell count is still elevated. That's just Western medicine trying to keep us dependent on their system." Elise grabbed a handful of spinach and tossed it into the blender. "My mother survived cancer with plant-based healing. Your mother had chemotherapy after she changed her diet." Cole watched Elise add pea protein powder to the mixture. His Marine training had taught him to read people, to spot danger before it struck. Every instinct screamed warnings he couldn't ignore. "She's not drinking that." Elise's voice turned sharp. "She's my daughter too. Then act like her mother instead of a content creator. I'm helping her heal." Elise slammed the protein powder container on the counter. "You want her to be sick forever? To pump her full of chemicals? I want her alive. You're overreacting. She needs to adapt." The front door opened. Judith Reese entered without knocking, her designer purse clutched against her chest. Cole's mother-in-law surveyed the kitchen with disapproval. "I heard shouting," Judith said. "Cole's being difficult again," Elise said. Judith looked at Cole like he was something stuck to her shoe. "Elise is trying to save that child's life. Maybe you should support your wife instead of undermining her." Cole felt the familiar rage building in his chest. The same anger that had gotten him through 3 tours in Afghanistan. "Maybe you should mind your own business. Arla is my granddaughter. Then start acting like you care about her health." Judith's voice turned icy. "I care about her future. Unlike some people, I understand that healing takes sacrifice." Cole looked at Arla, who had stopped eating entirely. His daughter watched the adults argue with wide, frightened eyes. "Come here, sweetheart," Cole said. Arla slipped from her chair and ran to him. He lifted her up, feeling how light she'd become. "I want to go to Aunt Maya's," Arla whispered in his ear. "Soon, baby girl." Elise grabbed the blender pitcher. "She's drinking this smoothie. I'm not letting you sabotage her healing. Over my dead body." "That can be arranged," Judith muttered. Cole stared at his mother-in-law. "What did you say?" "Nothing." Judith's face went pale. Cole set Arla down and stepped toward Judith. His voice dropped to the tone he'd used with insurgents. "Say it again." "Cole, stop," Elise said. "No, your mother just threatened me in front of my daughter. I want to hear her repeat it." Judith backed toward the door. "I didn't mean anything." "Yeah, you did." Cole's eyes never left hers. "You think I don't see what's happening here? You think I'm stupid?" "That's enough," Elise said. "Mother, go home." "Cole, we're talking about this later." Cole watched Judith hurry out. When he turned back, Elise was already setting up her camera again. "I'm getting content with or without your cooperation," she said. Cole picked up Arla. "We're going to see Aunt Maya. You're not taking her anywhere. Watch me." Cole carried Arla toward the door. Elise grabbed his arm. "If you leave now, don't come back." Cole stopped. "Is that a threat?" "It's a choice. Support your family or find somewhere else to live." Cole looked down at Arla, then back at his wife. "I choose my daughter." He walked out. Cole returned 3 hours later to find the house quiet. Too quiet. Arla's shoes were by the door, but he didn't hear her usual chatter. Elise. No answered. He found a note on the kitchen counter. Gone to get groceries. Arla is napping. Don't wake her. Cole climbed the stairs. Arla's room was empty. So was their bedroom. He called her name again. A muffled sound came from downstairs. Cole followed it to the kitchen pantry. The door was locked from the outside. Daddy. Arla's voice was weak. Cole's blood went cold. He grabbed a screwdriver from the junk drawer and pried the lock. The door swung open. Arla sat on the floor, surrounded by empty containers. A large cup sat beside her, green residue coating the bottom. Mommy said I had to drink it all, Arla whispered. She said I couldn't come out until it was gone. Cole knelt beside his daughter. Her skin looked pale, almost gray. How do you feel, baby? Sick. My throat feels funny. Cole's phone buzzed. A text from Elise, recording a tutorial at the studio. Back in 2 hours. Make sure Arla finishes her smoothie. Daddy, I can't breathe good. Cole looked at his daughter's face. Her lips were starting to swell. We're going to the hospital. Right now. He scooped Arla into his arms and ran for the car. By the time he buckled her into her car seat, she was wheezing. Stay with me, sweetheart. Keep talking to Daddy. I'm scared. I know, but we're going to see Aunt Maya. She'll make you feel better. Cole drove faster than he'd ever driven in his life. He called Maya from the car. Emergency department, Maya speaking. It's Cole. I'm bringing Arla in. Anaphylaxis. Elise forced her to drink something with allergens. What? How long ago? I don't know. Maybe an hour. She's having trouble breathing. Drive straight to the ambulance bay. I'll have a team ready. Cole screeched into the hospital parking lot. Maya was waiting with a gurney and 2 nurses. What did she ingest? Maya asked as they rushed through the doors. Green smoothie. Spinach, pea protein, probably soy milk. All her allergens. Maya's voice was grim. Give me epinephrine and prepare for intubation. Cole watched helplessly as the medical team worked on his daughter. Machines beeped. Voices shouted orders. Arla's small body convulsed on the table. She's going into shock, someone called out. Blood pressure dropping. I need that AP now. Cole pressed himself against the wall, his Marine training warring with paternal terror. In Afghanistan, he'd stayed calm under fire. But watching his daughter fight for her life was different. Cole. Maya touched his arm. She's stabilizing, but she's unconscious. We need to get her to ICU. Is she going to be okay? Maya's face was grave. I don't know. The reaction was severe. She may have aspirated some of the smoothie into her lungs. They wheeled Arla to the ICU. Cole sat beside her bed, holding her tiny hand. Machines monitored every breath, every heartbeat. 2 hours later, Elise finally arrived. What happened? She demanded, rushing into the room. Cole didn't look up. You poisoned our daughter. That's ridiculous. I would never hurt her. You locked her in the pantry and forced her to drink allergens. She needed to finish her smoothie. I was just trying to help her develop tolerance. Cole finally looked at his wife. She almost died. She's fine now. She's in a coma. Elise. Elise's face went pale. That's impossible. It was just spinach and protein powder. All things that could kill her. I didn't know it would be this bad. Cole stood up. Yes, you did. You read the medical reports. You knew exactly what would happen. I thought her body would adapt. You thought wrong. A doctor entered the room. Mr. Branner? I'm Dr. Patterson. I've been treating your daughter. How is she? Stable, but critical. The anaphylactic reaction was severe. She's developed pneumonia from aspirating the smoothie. We're giving her antibiotics and steroids, but the next 48 hours are crucial. Elise stepped forward. I'm her mother. What does she need? Dr. Patterson looked between them. She needs to avoid all known allergens. Permanently. No exceptions. But alternative medicine says, Ma'am, alternative medicine nearly killed your daughter tonight. Whatever you've been reading, forget it. Cole watched Elise's face crumble. But instead of guilt, he saw calculation. When can we take her home? Elise asked. If she recovers, it could be weeks. After the doctor left, Elise turned to Cole. This is all just stress. She'll be fine once we get her home and back on her healing routine. Cole stared at his wife. You still don't get it. Get what? You nearly killed our daughter for a social media post. I was trying to heal her. You were trying to create content. Elise's mask finally slipped. Maybe if you supported my work instead of constantly undermining me, none of this would have happened. Get out, Cole. Get out before I do something we'll both regret. Elise left. Cole sat back down beside his daughter's bed and waited for her to wake up. 3 days later, Arla opened her eyes. Cole had barely left her bedside, surviving on hospital coffee and Maya's updates. When his daughter whispered, "Daddy," he nearly cried. "Hey, baby girl. How do you feel? Tired? Is Mommy here?" "Not right now. Just me and Aunt Maya." Arla nodded weakly. "Good. I don't want to drink any more smoothies." "You'll never have to drink another smoothie again. I promise." That evening, Cole went home to shower and grab clean clothes. The house felt different now, hostile, like enemy territory. He moved through the rooms with military precision, alert for threats. Elise was in her office, editing videos on her laptop. She looked up when he entered. "How is she?" "Awake." "No thanks to you." "Cole, we need to talk about what happened." "No, we don't." Cole headed for the bedroom. Elise followed. "I know you're angry, but we need to present a united front when she comes home." Cole pulled clothes from his dresser. "She's not coming home. Not here." "What do you mean?" "I'm moving out. With Arla." Elise's voice rose. "You can't take her away from me. Watch me. I'm her mother. I have rights." Cole turned around. "You lost those rights when you locked her in a closet and poisoned her." "I didn't poison her. It was an allergic reaction that you caused. Intentionally." "That's not true." Cole stared at his wife. "Isn't it?" Something flickered across Elise's face. "I don't know what you mean." "I think you do." After Elise went to bed, Cole searched her office. He'd learned intelligence gathering in the Marines, and those skills served him now. He started with her computer. Elise had terrible operational security. Her password was Healing123. Cole accessed her email, her social media accounts, her cloud storage. What he found made his blood run cold. In her deleted emails folder, he discovered correspondence with several brands interested in sponsoring Arla's healing journey. One company offered $50,000 for exclusive documentation of a child's recovery from severe allergies using plant-based nutrition. Another email chain discussed creating a documentary about overcoming medical fear-mongering through natural healing. Elise had pitched Arla's story as the centerpiece, but the worst discovery was a folder labeled insurance. Cole found a life insurance policy on Arla he'd never seen before. The policy was worth $200,000, with Elise as the sole beneficiary. The policy had been active for 6 months. Cole's hands shook as he scrolled through bank records. Large withdrawals, dating back to when Arla first got sick. Money transferred to an account under Judith's name. Thousands of dollars moving from their joint account to Elise's mother. A document caught his attention. Asset Protection Trust, with Judith listed as trustee. Cole and Arla weren't mentioned anywhere. Cole printed everything. Then he dug deeper. Medical portal access logs showed someone had logged into Arla's patient records using Elise's credentials multiple times over the past month. Notes had been added and modified. Symptoms had been exaggerated. Some entries made it look like Cole had missed important medical appointments. The picture became clear. Elise wasn't just careless or misguided. She was systematic, calculating. Cole found a notebook hidden in Elise's desk drawer. Her handwriting filled pages with strategic notes. Document Cole's resistance to treatment. Film Arla's reactions for authenticity. Need medical crisis for maximum impact. Insurance requirements met after 6 months. The final entry was dated the day before the incident. Ready to proceed. Cole will be blamed for delay in treatment. Cole sat back in the chair. His wife had planned to harm their daughter. For money. For fame. For content that he thought about confronting her immediately. His military training suggested swift, decisive action. But another part of him, the part that had learned patience in 3 combat tours, told him to wait. To gather more evidence. To build an airtight case. Cole copied everything to an encrypted drive. Then he restored the computer to its previous state, leaving no trace of his search. When he climbed into bed next to Elise, she was pretending to sleep. But he felt her tension, the way she held her breath. She knew he was onto her. The next morning, Cole called his lawyer from the hospital parking lot. "Jerry, it's Cole Branner. I need to see you today. Emergency custody situation. How bad? My wife tried to kill my daughter for a life insurance payout. Jesus Christ. Can you prove it? I have everything. Come in now. And Cole, don't let your wife know you've contacted me. Already ahead of you. Cole hung up and walked back into the hospital. Maya met him at the elevator. She's asking for you, Maya said. But Cole, I need to tell you something. What? I've been reviewing Arla's medical records. Someone's been making changes, adding symptoms that weren't reported, making it look like you ignored her condition. Cole nodded. I know. I found the access logs. Maya stared at him. How do you know about access logs? Because I searched Elise's computer last night. She's been planning this for months. Planning what? To hurt Arla. To frame me. To cash in on the insurance money. Maya leaned against the wall. Oh my God. I need you to do something for me. Can you document all the changes to Arla's records? With timestamps. Yes. But Cole, if what you're saying is true, it is, then Elise is dangerous. Really dangerous. Cole looked toward the ICU. I know. That's why I'm ending this. Cole returned home that evening to find Elise in the kitchen, preparing dinner as if nothing had happened. She'd even set 3 plates on the table. I made your favorite, she said without looking up. Pot roast. Arla's still in the hospital. I know, but she'll be home soon, and I want things to be normal when she gets back. Cole watched his wife move around the kitchen. Her movements were too controlled, too deliberate, like an actress playing a role. I've been thinking, Elise continued. Maybe we've both been under too much stress. Maybe we should take a vacation when Arla recovers. Somewhere peaceful. Like where? I don't know. The mountains maybe. Away from doctors and hospitals and all this negativity. Cole sat down at the table. The doctors saved her life. I know that. Elise's voice was soft, conciliatory. I was wrong. About the smoothie. About everything. I just wanted to help her so badly. Did you? Elise turned around, tears in her eyes. Of course I did. She's my baby. Cole studied his wife's face. The tears looked real. The tremor in her voice seemed genuine. If he hadn't found the evidence, he might have believed her. I forgive you, he said. Relief flooded Elise's features. Really, for Arla's sake. We need to be a family. Elise rushed over and hugged him. Thank you. I promise I'll do better. I'll listen to the doctors. I'll stop the alternative medicine. Cole held his wife and felt nothing. No love. No anger. Just cold calculation. I love you, Elise whispered. I love you too, Cole lied. The next day, Cole used his security business as cover to install surveillance equipment throughout the house. Tiny cameras in the kitchen, living room, and Elise's office. Audio recorders in the bedrooms. Everything wireless, everything hidden. Cole had spent 3 years in military intelligence before starting his security company. He knew how to gather evidence without being detected. Within 2 days, he had everything he needed. Elise on camera, laughing about Arla's allergies with her mother. It's actually perfect. The worse she gets, the more dramatic the recovery will look. Elise on the phone with a documentary producer. The child nearly died. It'll be incredibly powerful television. Elise researching children's hospitals online, specifically looking for photogenic sick kids for comparison content. But the most damning evidence came from a conversation between Elise and Judith in the kitchen. Are you sure Cole doesn't suspect anything? Judith asked. He's too simple, too trusting. Military types always are. What about the insurance? It's been 6 months. We're covered. And if he tries to leave you, he won't. Not with what I have planned. What do you mean? I've been documenting his neglect of Arla. Missing appointments, refusing medication, emotional abuse. I have enough to take full custody. Brilliant. Then you'll have complete control. Exactly. And once he's out of the picture, we can really monetize her condition. Cole turned off the recording and sat in his car outside the house. His hands were shaking with rage. They were talking about his daughter like a business asset, like a product to be exploited. Cole called Maya from his cell phone. I need you to look at something, he said. What? Proof that Elise and Judith are planning to frame me and exploit Arla. Are you recording them? Legally. In Kentucky, I only need one-party consent. And I'm that party since it's my house. Cole, this is insane. It's about to get worse. Can you meet me tonight? Where? I'm bringing in backup. Someone who understands digital forensics. That evening, Cole met Maya at a coffee shop downtown. With them was Terrence Ruckman, Cole's old squad leader from Afghanistan. Ruck now worked as a systems analyst for a cybersecurity firm. Show him what you found, Maya said. Cole handed Ruck the encrypted drive. Everything's on there. Medical records tampering, insurance fraud, planned child endangerment. Ruck plugged the drive into his laptop. His expression grew darker as he scrolled through the files. This is sophisticated, Ruck said. She's been building a case against you for months. Can you trace where the money went? Already on it. Ruck's fingers flew across the keyboard. She's moving funds through multiple accounts. Classic money laundering technique. Maya leaned forward. What about the medical records? That's felony fraud. She accessed a secure system and falsified medical information. The state board will crucify her. Cole felt grim satisfaction. What else do you need? More recordings. I want to see their full plan. Can you get them talking about the insurance money specifically? Already working on it. Good. Because if this goes to court, we need absolutely everything. The next morning, Cole visited Arla in the hospital. She was sitting up in bed, coloring in a book Maya had brought her. Hi, Daddy, she said brightly. Look what I drew. Cole examined the picture. It showed 3 stick figures, a man, a woman, and a small girl. But the woman figure was crossed out with black crayon. Tell me about your picture, sweetheart. That's you and me and Aunt Maya. We're at the park. What about Mommy? Arla's face clouded. I don't want Mommy in the picture. Why not? She made me sick. She locked me in the dark place. Cole knelt beside the bed. Arla, I need you to tell me exactly what happened that day. Can you do that? Arla nodded. Cole pulled out his phone and started recording. Mommy said I had to drink the green drink. I said it would make me sick, but she said I was being bad. What happened next? She put me in the dark place with the drink. She said I couldn't come out until it was all gone. How long were you in there? A really long time. I got scared and my tummy hurt, but I drank it anyway because I wanted to come out. Did Mommy know the drink would make you sick? Arla nodded. She said it might make me feel bad at first, but then I'd get better. But I didn't get better. I got really sick. Cole turned off the recording. Thank you for telling me the truth, baby girl. Are you mad at Mommy? Cole chose his words carefully. I'm upset that she hurt you, but I'm not mad at you. None of this is your fault. I know. Aunt Maya told me. Maya appeared in the doorway. How's our patient? Better, Arla said. Daddy, can I live with you and Aunt Maya? Cole looked at his sister. We'll see, sweetheart. After Arla fell asleep, Cole and Maya talked in the hallway. I documented everything, Maya said. The original medical records, the changes Elise made, the timeline of Arla's deterioration. What did you find? Elise added symptoms that never existed. High fevers, seizures, behavioral problems. She made it look like Arla was much sicker than she actually was. Why? To justify more extreme treatments. And to make it look like you were ignoring serious warning signs. Cole nodded. What about the actual medical data? That's the scary part. Arla's condition has been stable for months. The only time she got worse were after Elise gave her healing smoothies containing her allergens. So Elise was poisoning her systematically. Yes, small doses, designed to cause reactions without killing her. Until this week. Cole felt sick. She was torturing our daughter. For content. For money. For attention. I'm going to destroy her. Maya grabbed his arm. Cole, I know you're angry, but you have to be smart about this. If you make a mistake, she could win custody. That's not going to happen. It could. She's already built a case against you. You need to be perfect from now on. Cole looked through the window at his sleeping daughter. I will be. Cole's opportunity came 3 days later when Elise suggested they attend couple therapy. I want us to work through this, she said over breakfast. For Arla's sake. I think that's a good idea, Cole agreed. Elise looked surprised. Really, we need to communicate better. Maybe a professional can help. Elise scheduled an appointment with Dr. Sandra Hoffman, a family therapist recommended by Judith. Cole researched Dr. Hoffman and discovered she was licensed to record sessions for legal purposes with proper consent. Before their first session, Cole called Dr. Hoffman privately. I need to discuss some safety concerns, he said. What kind of concerns? I believe my wife has been systematically harming our daughter. I have evidence, but I need professional documentation of her mindset. Mr. Branner, those are serious allegations. I know. Will you record our sessions if both parties consent? Yes, but only if there are legitimate safety concerns. There are. I'll provide you with medical records and other evidence. Then yes, I can record with proper consent. The therapy session took place in Dr. Hoffman's comfortable office. Cole and Elise sat across from each other, with the therapist between them. Let's start with what brought you here, Dr. Hoffman said. Elise leaned forward. Our daughter was recently hospitalized for an allergic reaction. Cole blames me, but I was just trying to help her heal naturally. Cole, how do you see the situation? Cole had rehearsed this moment. I think we have different approaches to Arla's medical care. I rely on doctors. Elise prefers alternative methods. Can you both tell me about Arla's condition? Elise launched into a detailed explanation of alternative medicine, plant-based healing, and a medical establishment's conspiracy against natural treatments. The more she talked, the more extreme her views became. Modern medicine wants to keep children sick, Elise said. There's no profit in healing. What about Arla's specific allergies? Dr. Hoffman asked. Those are just her body's way of rejecting toxins. If we can build her tolerance through controlled exposure, she'll overcome them. Cole watched Dr. Hoffman's face. The therapist was clearly alarmed. Controlled exposure to known allergens? Dr. Hoffman asked. Exactly. Small amounts at first, then gradually increasing the dose. Even though she's been hospitalized, that's just a healing crisis. Her body is fighting the toxins. Dr. Hoffman made notes. Cole, how do you feel about this approach? Terrified, Cole said honestly. I almost lost my daughter because of a healing crisis. Elise's voice rose. You're being dramatic. She was never in real danger. She was in a coma. For less than a day. She stopped breathing. That was just her body releasing toxins through her respiratory system. Dr. Hoffman leaned forward. Elise, do you understand that anaphylaxis can be fatal? Not if you understand the healing process. What if the doctors are right? What if continued exposure could kill her? Elise paused for a moment. Then she shrugged. Maybe this would be easier if Arla weren't so fragile. The room went silent. Cole felt his blood turn to ice. What do you mean by that? Dr. Hoffman asked carefully. I mean, some children are just weaker than others. Maybe Arla isn't strong enough for natural healing. And if she's not strong enough, then maybe that's nature's way of telling us something. Cole stared at his wife. She just suggested their daughter might be better off dead, doctor. Hoffman continued taking notes. Cole, how does that make you feel? Like I'm married to a stranger. The session continued for another 30 minutes. Elise revealed more of her true thoughts with each question. She talked about the burden of caring for a sick child, the financial strain of medical bills, the way Arla's condition interfered with her career, by the end, she'd painted a clear picture of a mother who saw her daughter as an obstacle to overcome rather than a child to protect. After they left the office, Cole drove home in silence. Elise seemed pleased with the session. I think that went well, she said. Dr. Hoffman really understood my perspective. Did she? Of course. She could see how much stress you've been under, how your negativity has been affecting our family. Cole parked in their driveway. Is that what you think happened in there? What do you mean? You just told a therapist that our daughter might be better off dead. Elise's face went white. I didn't say that. You said maybe it would be easier if she weren't so fragile. You said maybe nature is telling us something. I was talking about her healing process. No, you weren't. Cole got out of the car and walked into the house. Elise followed, her voice rising. You're twisting my words. I would never hurt Arla. You already did hurt her. That was an accident. Cole turned around. Was it? Something flickered across Elise's face. Of course it was. I don't believe you. I don't care what you believe. Cole smiled coldly. You should. The next morning, Cole was feeding Arla breakfast in her hospital room when his phone rang. The caller ID showed Kentucky Insurance Commission. Mr. Branner? This is Investigator Janet Morrison. I need to speak with you about a life insurance policy on your daughter. Cole stepped into the hallway. What about it? We've received reports of possible fraud. Are you aware of a $200,000 policy on Arla Branner? No. I never signed any such policy. According to our records, you're listed as a secondary beneficiary. Your wife is primary. That's impossible. I would never agree to insure my daughter for that amount. Sir, forging signatures on insurance documents is a felony. If you didn't sign this policy, we need to investigate. I'll be right there. Cole called Maya to watch Arla, then drove to the insurance commission office. Investigator Morrison was a stern woman in her 50s who clearly didn't tolerate fraud. Look at this signature, she said, showing him the policy. Is this yours? Cole examined the document. The signature looked like his, but something was off. It's close, but not quite right. The B in Branner is different from how I normally write it. We'll need a handwriting sample for comparison. Cole provided multiple samples. Morrison studied them carefully. This is definitely forgery, she said. The pressure points are wrong, and the pen flow is inconsistent with your natural writing style. What happens now? We freeze the policy pending investigation. If fraud is confirmed, we'll file criminal charges. Cole left the commission office and drove straight to his lawyer's office. Jerry Webb was a former Marine JAG officer who understood military precision. About more evidence, Cole said, handing over new files. Jerry reviewed everything. Insurance fraud, medical record tampering, child endangerment. We can get emergency custody today. Do it. Cole, once we file these charges, there's no going back. Elise will be arrested. Good. Are you sure about this? Some judges prefer to see parents work things out. Cole thought about Arla in the hospital bed, about the forged insurance policy, about Elise suggesting their daughter might be better off dead. I'm sure. That afternoon, Child Protective Services arrived at the hospital. The caseworker, Mrs. Chun, interviewed Cole, Maya, and Arla separately. Arla, can you tell me what happened the day you got sick? Mrs. Chun asked gently. Arla repeated her story about the locked pantry and the forced smoothie. Mrs. Chun recorded everything. Are you afraid of your mommy? Mrs. Chun asked. Arla nodded. She makes me drink things that hurt me. What about your daddy? Daddy keeps me safe. And Aunt Maya. 2 hours later, Mrs. Chun delivered her decision. Based on the medical evidence and the child's testimony, we're granting emergency custody to Mr. Branner. Mrs. Branner will have supervised visitation only. Cole felt relief flood through him. What about criminal charges? That's up to the district attorney. But given the evidence, I'd expect charges to be filed soon. Cole called Elise to inform her of the custody decision. She answered on the first ring. Cole, I've been trying to reach you all day. We need to talk. Good. I've been thinking about our therapy session. Maybe we should schedule another one. That won't be necessary. CPS just awarded me emergency custody of Arla. Silence. Then what? You heard me. And there's more. You're being investigated for insurance fraud. That's impossible. Is it? Did you forge my signature on a life insurance policy? More silence. Elise, I don't know what you're talking about. The investigator has handwriting samples. They know you forged my name. This is insane. You can't take Arla away from me. I already did. I'll fight this. I'll get the best lawyers money can buy. With what money? Your accounts are frozen pending investigation. Elise's voice turned shrill. You bastard. You planned this. No, Elise. You planned this. I just caught you. I'll destroy you in court. I'll tell them how you neglected Arla. How you refused to get her proper treatment. Go ahead. I have recordings of you admitting you poisoned her for content. You're lying. Am I? Check your email. I'm sending you a sample. Cole hung up and forwarded one of the audio files to Elise's phone. Then he turned off his phone and focused on what mattered. His daughter was safe. Within 24 hours, Elise's carefully constructed world began to collapse. Cole watched it happen from the safety of the hospital, where Arla was making a remarkable recovery now that she was away from her mother's healing regimen. The first blow came from her sponsors. Cole monitored Elise's social media accounts and saw the messages pouring in. Companies distancing themselves from her brand. Contracts being terminated. PR agencies dropping her as a client. Someone had leaked the story to a local news blogger. The headline read, Influencer mom accused of poisoning daughter for content. Within hours, it had been picked up by national outlets. Cole's phone rang. Jerry Webb calling with updates. The DA is filing charges, Jerry said. Insurance fraud, child endangerment, medical record tampering. That's just the start. What else? They're looking into her social media accounts. Apparently, she was selling healing protocols to other parents with sick children. Cole felt sick. She was giving other people the same advice that nearly killed Arla. Worse, she was charging for it. $200 for a personalized healing plan. How many people bought it? At least 50 families. The FDA is getting involved now. Cole looked through the hospital window at his daughter, who was playing with blocks Maya had brought. What about custody? The emergency order stands. But Elise has hired a lawyer. Marcus Finch. He's expensive and ruthless. Can he win? Not with the evidence we have. But he'll try to drag this out, make it expensive for you. I don't care about the money. I know. But Cole, there's something else. Elise's mother hired a private investigator to dig into your background. Cole wasn't surprised. Let them dig. I've got nothing to hide. I know, but they might try to twist things. Your military service, the PTSD diagnosis after your third tour. That's sealed medical information. Judith has connections. She might find a way to access it. Cole thought about his mother-in-law's threat. She said I was an unfit father from the beginning. Did she? When? The morning before Elise poisoned Arla. She made some comment about my being arranged. Arrange how? I don't know, but I'm going to find out. That evening, Elise finally showed up at the hospital. She'd been crying, her makeup smeared and her hair disheveled. Security stopped her at the ICU entrance. I want to see my daughter, she demanded. Ma'am, you need to check with the nurse's station, the guard said. Maya appeared in the hallway. She's not allowed in here. I'm her mother. You're also under investigation for child abuse. Elise pushed past the guard and headed for Arla's room. Cole intercepted her at the door. You need to leave, he said quietly. I want to see her. Supervised visitation only. Through CPS. Elise looked past him at Arla, who had stopped playing and was watching them with frightened eyes. Hi, baby, Elise called out. Mommy's here. Arla pressed herself against Maya's side. I don't want to see her. See, Elise said to Cole. You've poisoned her against me. I didn't have to. You did that yourself. This is all your fault. If you had supported my healing work, your healing work nearly killed her. She was getting better. Cole stared at his wife. She was dying, Elise. Slowly and systematically. You were killing our daughter for views and subscribers. That's not true, isn't it? Tell me about the insurance policy you forged my name on. Elise's face went white. I can explain that. Explain how you forged my signature to get $200,000 in coverage on our 4-year-old daughter. I was just trying to protect our family financially by betting on our daughter's death. It wasn't like that. Cole stepped closer. Then what was it like? Explain to me how taking out a massive life insurance policy on a sick child isn't exactly what it looks like. Elise couldn't answer. She looked through the window at Arla one more time, then turned and fled. Judith was waiting for her in the parking lot. Cole watched from the window as mother and daughter had a heated argument beside Judith's Mercedes. Finally, Judith drove away, leaving Elise standing alone. Cole's phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Your wife is in the parking lot. She's been sitting in her car for an hour. Thought you should know. Hospital security. Cole called security. This is Cole Branner in ICU room 314. My wife is in the parking lot. She's not supposed to be here. We'll handle it, sir. Cole watched security approach Elise's car. She drove away before they could reach her. Daddy, is Mommy going to come back? Arla asked. Cole sat on the edge of her bed. I don't know, sweetheart. But if she does, I won't let her hurt you again. Promise? I promise. The custody hearing was scheduled for the following Monday. Cole spent the weekend preparing with Jerry Webb and gathering final pieces of evidence. Ruck had uncovered the full scope of Elise's financial fraud. She didn't just forge the insurance policy, he explained over coffee Saturday morning. She's been systematically draining your accounts for months. How much? About $40,000. All transferred to accounts controlled by her mother. For what? Legal fees, mostly. Looks like they've been planning this custody fight since before Arla got sick. Cole felt his anger building. They were planning to take her away from me regardless. That's what it looks like. The insurance policy was just a backup plan in case the custody fight didn't work. Maya joined them with more disturbing news. I talked to 3 other mothers who bought Elise's healing protocols, and 2 ended up in the emergency room. One child nearly died from dehydration after following Elise's cleansing routine. Why didn't anyone report her? She made them sign non-disclosure agreements. They were afraid of being sued. Cole shook his head. She was running a business built on child abuse. The FBI is looking into it now, Maya said. This could become a federal case. Monday morning arrived gray and cold. Cole dressed in his best suit and drove to the courthouse with Jerry. Elise was already there with her lawyer, Marcus Finch, and Judith. Finch was exactly what Cole expected. Expensive suit, silver hair, the kind of lawyer who specialized in making victims look like villains. Mr. Branner. Finch approached him in the hallway. I'd like to discuss a settlement. No settlement, Cole replied. You might want to hear our offer. I said no. Finch smiled coldly. Your military records make for interesting reading. Cole felt Jerry tense beside him. What military records? PTSD diagnosis. Anger management counseling. 3 tours in a combat zone. Some judges might question whether that's the ideal environment for a young child. You're fishing, Jerry said. Medical records are sealed. Are they? Finch pulled out a file. Mrs. Reese has been quite resourceful. Cole looked at the documents. They were definitely his medical records, including confidential therapy sessions after his discharge. How did you get these? Does it matter? The point is, we have them. Jerry grabbed Cole's arm. Don't say anything else. The hearing began an hour later. Judge Patricia Martinez presided, a no-nonsense family court veteran who Cole hoped would see through Elise's act. Finch presented his case first. Your Honor, my client is a devoted mother who made a tragic mistake. She was trying to help her daughter using alternative medicine, never intending to cause harm. Finch painted Elise as a victim of an overzealous ex-husband with PTSD and anger issues. He claimed Cole was using the medical emergency to wage psychological warfare against his wife. Mr. Branner has been systematically undermining his wife's authority as a parent, Finch argued. He's used his military training to conduct surveillance and gather evidence like an enemy combatant rather than a loving husband. Then Finch played his trump card. Your Honor, we have evidence that Mr. Branner suffers from PTSD and has undergone anger management counseling. We question whether someone with his psychological profile should have unsupervised access to a vulnerable child. Cole watched the judge's expression. Judge Martinez was taking notes, her face neutral. Jerry stood for Cole's defense. Your Honor, let's focus on facts rather than character assassination. Jerry presented the medical evidence first. Arla's declining health under Elise's care. The systematic poisoning through allergen exposure. The forged medical records. Mrs. Branner didn't make a mistake, Your Honor. She implemented a calculated plan to harm her daughter for financial gain. Jerry played the audio recordings. The courtroom was silent as Elise's voice filled the room, discussing insurance money and documenting Cole's supposed neglect. Then came the insurance fraud evidence. The forged signature. The money transfers to Judith's account. This wasn't alternative medicine, Your Honor. This was a business plan built on child endangerment. Judge Martinez called a recess. During the break, Cole noticed Elise seemed to be falling apart. Her hands shook as she tried to drink water. Judith whispered urgently in her ear. When court resumed, Judge Martinez asked to speak to Arla privately. The little girl was brought in and questioned gently about her experiences. Cole couldn't hear what Arla said, but he saw the judge's face harden as she listened. After Arla left, Judge Martinez delivered her ruling. I've reviewed all the evidence presented today. The medical records, the audio recordings, the financial documents, and most importantly, the child's own testimony. She looked directly at Elise. Mrs. Branner, what you did to your daughter goes beyond neglect. It was systematic abuse disguised as medical care. Your Honor, please. Finch started to interrupt. I'm not finished, counselor. Judge Martinez's voice was sharp. The evidence shows a pattern of deliberate harm inflicted for financial gain. The forged insurance policy alone demonstrates premeditation. She turned to Cole. Mr. Branner, While I have concerns about the surveillance methods you employed, I understand you were gathering evidence to protect your child. Judge Martinez made her decision. Full custody is awarded to Mr. Branner. Mrs. Branner is granted supervised visitation for 2 hours every other weekend, contingent on completion of a court-ordered psychological evaluation. Elise screamed, "This is unfair. He's trying to destroy me." Furthermore, the judge continued, "I'm issuing a restraining order. Mrs. Branner is prohibited from discussing this case on social media or any other public platform." Finch was on his feet. "Your Honor, we request an immediate appeal." Denied. This order is effective immediately. Cole felt relief wash over him. But his celebration was short-lived. As they left the courthouse, Jerry pulled Cole aside. "We're not done yet," he said quietly. "What do you mean?" "Finch is good. He's not going to give up after one loss." The judge was pretty clear. Judges can be overruled. And there's something else. Jerry showed Cole a document that had been filed while they were in court. "Judith is petitioning for grandparents' rights. She's claiming you're unfit and that Elise was acting under duress." "Duress from who?" "From you. She's claiming you forced Elise to sign the insurance papers under threat of violence." Cole stared at the petition. "That's insane. It gets worse. She's also filed a motion claiming the medical evidence was tampered with. She says you used your security business to hack into the hospital records." "Can she prove that?" "She doesn't have to prove it. She just has to create enough doubt to get a new hearing." Cole felt his anger rising. How long can this go on? Potentially years, especially if they keep filing appeals and motions. What about criminal charges against Elise? That's a separate matter. The DA will proceed regardless of the custody case. As they talked, Cole noticed a commotion near the courthouse steps. Elise was surrounded by reporters, with Judith standing beside her. "My husband is a troubled veteran who used military tactics to frame me," Elise was saying into the microphones. "I made one mistake trying to help my daughter, and he's turned it into a war." Cole watched his wife perform for the cameras. She was crying, playing the victim perfectly. He installed spy cameras in our home. He recorded private conversations. He used his security business to hack medical records. "Is that true?" a reporter asked. "Of course it's true. How else would he have gotten all that evidence? No normal father would spy on his own family." Cole started walking toward the press conference, but Jerry grabbed his arm. "Don't. Anything you say will be twisted. She's lying. I know, but engaging with her now will only make it worse." Cole watched Elise continue her performance. "I just want my daughter back. I want to heal from this nightmare and move forward as a family." "What about the insurance fraud charges?" a reporter asked. Judith stepped forward. "Those charges are based on forged evidence. My son-in-law has connections in the insurance industry. He manufactured that entire case." Cole felt his patience snap. "That's enough." He walked over to the reporters, ignoring Jerry's protests. "Everything my wife just told you is a lie," Cole said into the cameras. The reporters turned their attention to him. "Mr. Branner, can you respond to the allegations?" "I can respond with facts. My wife systematically poisoned our daughter for 6 months. She forged my signature on life insurance documents. She stole $40,000 from our joint accounts. Mrs. Branner says you forced her to sign those documents." Cole laughed bitterly. "I wasn't even aware the documents existed until after my daughter was hospitalized." "What about the surveillance allegations?" "I installed security cameras in my own home after discovering my wife was planning to frame me for child neglect. Those cameras saved my daughter's life." Elise pushed forward. "He's lying. He's trying to cover up his own abuse." Cole looked directly at his wife. "If I'm lying, then explain the recordings. Explain your voice discussing insurance money and calling our daughter a burden. Those recordings are fake, are they? Then why don't you take a polygraph test?" Elise's face went pale. Judith pulled her away from the microphones. "This interview is over," Judith announced as they walked away. Cole heard Elise whisper to her mother, "He actually recorded us?" Cole smiled grimly. Even under pressure, Elise couldn't stop incriminating herself, but his satisfaction was short-lived. Jerry pulled him aside again. "We have a problem," Jerry said. "What now?" Judith just filed an emergency motion claiming you threatened Elise in front of the press. I didn't threaten anyone. I know. But she's claiming your comment about the polygraph was intimidation. Cole looked back at the courthouse. How long can they keep this up? As long as they have money for lawyers. Then we need to end this permanently. How? Cole thought about his military training. About the importance of decisive action. About eliminating threats before they could regroup. By giving them enough rope to hang themselves. That evening, Cole met with Ruck at a secure location. I need you to monitor all of Judith's communications, he said. That's illegal wiretapping. Not if she's planning to commit crimes. What kind of crimes? I think she's the one who got my medical records. That's a federal offense. Ruck nodded slowly. If I can prove she illegally accessed veterans' medical files. Exactly. And I think there's more. I want to know how deep this conspiracy goes. Give me 48 hours. 2 days later, Ruck called with explosive news. You were right, he said. Judith has been planning this for over a year. What did you find? Email chains going back 14 months. She was already looking for ways to remove you from Arla's life before Elise even started the alternative medicine stuff. What? Money. Arla has a trust fund from your parents that she'll inherit when she turns 18. $2 million. Cole felt pieces clicking into place. And if something happened to me, Elise would control the trust as Arla's guardian. And if something happened to Arla, the money would go to Elise. Exactly. But here's the smoking gun. Judith hired a hacker to get your medical records. I have the payment trail and communication logs. That's a federal crime. It gets better. She also hired someone to plant malware on the hospital's computer system. They were planning to frame you for the medical record tampering. Cole felt rage building in his chest. They were going to destroy me completely. There's more. I found communications with Elise's documentary contact. They were planning to film Arla's death and market it as a cautionary tale about medical neglect. Jesus Christ. Cole, these people were planning to kill your daughter and profit from filming it. Cole was quiet for a long moment. What do we do with this information? We hand it to the FBI. This is organized conspiracy to commit murder. Do it. The FBI moved quickly. Within hours, federal agents arrested Judith at her home. They also arrested the hacker she'd hired and seized all of Elise's electronic devices. Cole was at the hospital with Arla when Jerry called with the news. It's over, Jerry said. Judith has been charged with conspiracy to commit murder, wire fraud, and illegal access to federal databases. What about Elise? She's been arrested as a co-conspirator. The federal charges supersede everything else. Cole looked at Arla, who was finally healthy and gaining weight. When can we go home? Tomorrow. I've already cleared it with the hospital. That night, Cole sat beside Arla's bed and watched her sleep. Maya came in with coffee and paperwork. The custody order is permanent now, she said. Elise won't be appealing from federal prison. How long will she get? Minimum 10 years. Maybe 20 with the child endangerment charges. Cole nodded. Good. Are you going to tell Arla what really happened? Someday, when she's old enough to understand. What about now? Cole looked at his sleeping daughter. Now we just move forward. 3 months later, Cole sold his security business and bought a small cabin near a lake outside Louisville. Arla thrived in the peaceful environment, with Maya visiting regularly and helping with childcare while Cole consulted part-time for Ruck's cybersecurity firm at Elise's trial made national news. The story of the influencer who tried to kill her daughter for content became a cautionary tale about social media culture and child exploitation. Cole didn't follow the coverage. He was too busy building a new life with his daughter. One evening, as they walked along the lake shore, Arla asked a question that caught him off guard. Daddy, I don't miss her. Is that bad? Cole knelt down to her level. No, sweetheart. It's not bad. Why don't I miss Mommy? Cole chose his words carefully. Some people don't belong in our story, but we keep writing it anyway. Arla nodded solemnly. Just you and me and Aunt Maya? Just us. They stood by the water as the sun set, watching ripples spread across the surface. Cole held his daughter's hand and felt something he hadn't experienced in years. Peace. Behind them, the cabin glowed with warm light. Inside, Maya was preparing dinner, humming while she cooked. This was what family felt like. Not the performed perfection of Elise's social media posts, but the quiet contentment of people who actually cared about each other. Arla tugged on his hand. Can we go inside? I'm hungry. Of course. As they walked back to the cabin, Cole thought about the future. Arla would grow up safe. She would never again be used as content or exploited for money. She would know what real love looked like, not the twisted manipulation Elise had called motherhood. The nightmare was over. Their new story had begun.